And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is the 17th, June, 2026. I'm here in Central Florida where, just so you know, it feels like 105 outside. I think it's 95. But it feels like 105, but I'm happy as all heck. I love hot weather. My family doesn't understand that, but I am a hot weather guy. When we were in Dubai in the desert, I was loving it. Anyway, it's hot here, just letting you know. Ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, we're going to cover two very important subjects. And then we'll do the market that had a very rough reaction today to the new head of the central bank. What's his name? Kevin Warsh. A very interesting reaction. And I'm not just talking the stock market, but interest rate markets. But first, if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. If you don't follow us on X, you should. Just put our name in. If you'd like to email us, just be nice and respectful. We'll be respectful back unless you like Hamas and terror and all that crap, unless you're a racist. Oh, and by the way, this is serious talk on everything that affects you. We will do markets, the economy, your job, your industry, the new Fed guy, the Memorandum of Understanding. Whoever came up with it's the Memorandum of Understanding. Yeah, that's fine and dandy. And whatever else comes to mind. Just letting you know. Where do I want to start? Let's go with the market and the Fed. So the central bank has a new central banker, and those that have listened to this show know I never watched Jay Powell's press conferences. Nothing personal. I've never met the guy. I'm sure he's nice. I thought he didn't have a clue. I thought he didn't have an understanding of anything. I thought he was late in the game with everything. And when things happen, he would overreact. And I still remember December of 18, because the market was getting hit, he changed his stance on raising rates to lowering rates because of a stock market, which pissed me off. And of course, the worst thing he did was react to the COVID. In case you don't know, he reacted to the COVID by taking rates down to zero and then printing to $9 trillion. Not $9 trillion, but to $9 trillion. I think it was 3 or 4 at the time. Took those trillions of dollars and bought up the whole freaking bond market, distorting everything, screwing you, the saver, by taking rates to zero. You got nothing on your money markets, helping people buying homes at the 3% mortgage, which distorted the whole housing market eventually, and of course created all that freaking inflation. And the inflation came down only when he was forced to recognize, I think there's some inflation. So the new guy is in. And I didn't watch it again, but I taped it. And I'm actually going to watch the press conference tonight and just try to get a feel for him. See if he gets it and understands and all that crap. But a couple of things happened. Number one, the market sank. That's number one. The market sank. In fact, the Dow finished down 506, Nasdaq 354. The market sank. And in fact, I'm looking at it right now. The Nasdaq, let me do the 1 minute chart. From 245, it was rallying off of him. At 245, we hit Nasdaq 26,440. We closed at 26,021, down 354. Yeah. The Dow, let's do the Dow while we're at it. At that, I'm going to go to the 5-minute on that one. The Dow hit a high. Come on, guys. Well, the Dow was, I'm going to do 245. It was 52. Closed at 51,493, down 500. So let me first state, often, not all the time, the next day the market will do the opposite of what it did on the Fed day. But something else happened that I didn't see. But as you know, I tell you that I follow certain people on X and things get pushed to me. The 1 and 2 year yield went up. The 3-month T-bill yield went up. Short-term rates went up. And I'm not sure that short-term rates going up while long-term rates, I'm talking 30-year, which was basically flat or down a little, a tightening spread is good news. So I don't know what he said. I'm going to watch it later. I saw some liners that were put out there. I didn't see anything really untoward. But a person I follow said, the bond market's way of telling the Fed that its hawkish tone will prove to be a policy blunder. Flatter yield curves equal weaker growth and a nail driven into the risk-on trade. All right, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Do you understand what I just said? I don't. I don't even understand it. I just know that short-term interest rates going higher is not the greatest thing on earth. And interesting enough, as I am scanning right now, and I must tell you, I did not really look at my other screens. I am looking at my mid-screen right now, and I'm noticing they were smacking the housing stocks, and they smacked transports. Yeah. I'm thinking that was something. I'll report to you tomorrow on what I saw from the new guy, because unfortunately it matters. The one thing I can tell you flat out I do like about the guy already is he's basically stated that he wants less yapping from the Fed heads. Less yapping. I'd be thrilled by that. Now, as you know, I don't think we should have a central bank. I'm still trying to figure out what they do for us. Somebody please tell me what they produce or what they create. Tell me. Ever. What do they produce or create? The answer is nothing. They've done nothing but cause damage by overdoing things. I'll start with Bernanke, and he was really ground zero. We're going to print money, and he called it something else, but don't worry, it'll only last short term. Well, that was 07, 08. It's 26 now, and I think we still have $6 to $7 trillion of printed money still on the books. No, not kidding. Not kidding. So rough close, but again, very often you'll get the opposite the next day. I'll tell you what was ridiculously strong today. On the initial, by the way, I'm not making this up. On the initial move after the Fed came out, the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index went from 13,487 to 13,965, 500 points within 40 minutes. But when finished at 13,477, still up 182 for the day. So that was strong, though came in at the end of the day. A lot of the AI was strong, though came in at the end of the day. What stuck out for me today, listen carefully, this is there's music, but up next, what stuck out for me today? This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Okay. Hey, yo. By the way, for all my Knicks buddies, tomorrow at 9 a.m. on Peacock streaming thing that you have to pay for, 9 a.m. will be the parade. 9 a.m. And I think I told you already, I canceled my trip. I was leaving tomorrow for Europe, and I canceled it to the Labor Day week. My dog Winston, who's going to be 14 and was told over 3 years ago he had a few months because he has bad cancer, had surgery twice, but it's really aggressive now. And I want to hang. I think he's okay. But, when you can tell? Also a very, very, very close friend of the family. Some dire straits there, so we changed it. And I'm not going to mention the airline, but I have to tell you, an airline, well, this is probably a big hint, that flies from London and back allowed me to move my flights because it was the same price into the Labor Day week, allowed me to do it. Even though I guess you have a certain amount of time. That was really nice. I don't want to mention who, because I don't know if they do it for everybody. I actually think it's probably something they figured out, and I've never understood airlines not being more flexible when somebody has issues. Oh no, you're paying. Anyway, so we will be here, and we're off on Friday, so I'll be doing the show tomorrow. So we pride ourselves very much so on being able to say to you, avoid these areas. We're big believers, if you can avoid the bear markets, whether it's a country, a sector, or a stock, or a commodity, wow, you're really way ahead of the game. And as you know, the market is never, ever 100%. There's always bear markets when things are bullish. There's always some bull markets when things are bearish. And I just want to be a little repetitive on some things that are really, I call them sore thumbs. So here we go. And this is on the weirder side, and I don't know why, but Amazon, which was at a high the beginning of May, dropped, rallied up to a lower high, and has sunk like a stone ever since. The big software stocks, Adobe, new yearly low close today for Adobe. Salesforce.com in the Dow, a new yearly low for Salesforce.com. By the way, these are not fly-by-nights. Microsoft down 14 today, not a new yearly low, but it's close. Oracle, getting there. SAP, new yearly low. You ready? Costco, big top in place and just very poor action as of recent. Meta, down $32 today. The old high was last August at 800. It's 567 right now. And in case you did not know, it is trading where it did April of 24 right now. Netflix just smoked. Netflix hit a high of 134 in July of 25. It's $77. Netflix. Tesla, not as bad as the others, but hit a high of almost 500 in December. It's $396. NVIDIA, and this is surprising, I believe I mentioned it yesterday. 4 quarters of accelerating earnings and sales, talked up like a storm, hit a high of 236 and change mid-May. It's 204 today. A couple of weeks ago, it gapped up to 232, closed at 222, and has done nothing but go down, and is now trading below the 50-day. What do all these have in common? They're mega cap tech type things. Google, soon as they announce they're raising $80 billion, it's in a funk now also. Nowhere near as bad as others, but trade back below the 50-day today. Which leaves other big names. Apple. They did this confab and just sold off. And not the end of the world, but under pressure. I just mentioned the big 8 and a couple of others. That is of note. And then there's these other areas. How many other areas have we talked about to avoid? A ton of the retail. Recently, we just saying, hey, you got to avoid the oils. And that's because we're getting out of that whatever's going on. Medicals. What do we say about medicals? Avoid. Except for, and we outline Lilly's acting better in the pharmaceuticals, United Health in the managed care. But these medical research and product companies just bearish. Most consumer staples. A lot of the restaurants, though, I must state, there's some restaurants acting better now. In fact, BJRI is at new yearly highs, and I believe Cheesecake Factory also. You catching the drift? So just letting you know, we had a rough day today. We'll see if tomorrow's better. The question is, and I'll watch tonight, what exactly did this guy say? And leave no doubt, short-term rates ticking up is not the greatest thing on earth. By the way, the 10-year went up 0.35 to 4463. So, crummy day at the end. And by the way, it was a real strong semiconductor and artificial intelligence day until the end of the day. But by the way, Micron still finished up 28, Seagate 39, Western Digital 37. They were much higher. ARM Holdings 24. I believe ARM Holdings was up 45 before the drop. A lot of jello moving on the plate, kids. Up next. Hey, what else happened today? This is the one and only Investor's Edge. And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. What else happened today? The president had, I believe, over an hour speech and a few minutes of a press conference today defending the Memorandum of Understanding. Let me tell you under no uncertain terms my opinion, but I'm a nobody. I'm no one. It sucks. And unfortunately, the president didn't realize he let the cat out of the bag during that hour as he was all over the map with his speech. He let out the reason why this occurred, this memorandum of understanding? Because the markets going up, oil coming down, ain't that great? He let the cat out of the bag. Not that Iran murdered over 40,000 of their people who were protesting and tortured a bunch of them. Not that they have sent bazillions of dollars to Hezbollah to conduct terror, murders around the globe. No. The markets are going up and oil coming down. Interesting, huh? But it doesn't matter what I think. I'm just one person. You know what does matter? How the masses think. And we're not talking about the left. The Democrats suck. They're terrible. They're illogical morons. This left. You've had some decent people on the left in the past, but the ones now are an absolute comedy act. I'm talking about the people that have backed Donald Trump since day one. Here's one. Reagan is rolling over in his grave. Iran's nuclear ambitions were not curbed, and they have learned that threatening the Strait of Hormuz works and will undoubtedly leverage it in the future. Now Iran gets to build brand new infrastructure under this deal. That's one. Do I need to do others? I could. For all of you out there. Oh, here's one. Iran is better off than they were before hostilities began, and that should not be the consequence of war. We had total control over that country. When you're in that position, you negotiate from strength. You don't give people money. The regime has not changed. They are now just richer. That is a major league Republican. I'm not going to mention who. Here's one. This MOU appears to be a disaster that does not achieve any of the signal goals that were set by the administration at the beginning. In my opinion, the vice president chief negotiator has not well served the president. Trump says Iranian missiles don't matter despite attacking Obama deal for allowing them. I can go on. His own party is ripping the stuffings out of him today. But you know what the president's very good at? And I got to say, what he's very good at, and he is. He can sell people sand if they're in the desert. The Knicks beat San Antonio 4-1, and he can get on TV and tell you San Antonio won, and he'd get people to believe it. He went out there today and said, this is the greatest freaking deal on earth. I'm the greatest negotiator. I'm the boss. I'm this. I'm that. But I'm rummaging through one after the other, his friends, his compatriots, his party, agreeing with me, a nobody. It sucks. And if you have a chance, watch Marco Rubio's face as he was doing 1 hour of talking. Oh, and by the way, saying all of our elections are rigged. Telling the world our elections in America are rigged. Rubio looked like he was a hostage standing behind the president. Now, let me finish up. I am rooting for him to do the right things, do great things. He's a sheer disappointment so far. And he has now thrown Israel under the bus, which is sickening. He said it is no big deal, I'm quoting him, that Hezbollah lobbed rockets into Israel because, they weren't that bad and nobody got hurt. That is sickening for a president of the United States to make that statement about any other country, especially one of our great allies and one of the great democracies on this earth. My disappointment is at a fever pitch. I would love to state, let me sit down with him, but he wouldn't listen to one freaking word I would say. I'm hoping for better. I don't know what else I can state. You can go read the Memorandum of Understanding yourself. Iran wins. The people of Iran lose. And by the way, he was quite hypocritical today when he said, I was never for regime change, even though he put out social media posts, I'm here for the people. Well, the same people that murdered over 40,000 and tortured a bunch of them are still running the joint. And now we're getting a lot of money. Hoping for the best. I believe we have more than 900 days left of a man who put the markets ahead of doing the right thing. We move on. Let me repeat a few things. Typically, when you get a good sell-off like this on Fed Day, you bounce the next day. We'll see if that occurs. The semiconductors and AI were strong as an ox today. I mean, big time, but really came in hard. When the Nasdaq drops 400 and some odd points in the last, half hour, 40 minutes, it's going to take most things down. We'll see what tomorrow brings. SpaceX finished down today. Well, let's take a look. Hit a high today of 214, closed at 191.82. So it's still 23 frickin' dollars of spread today. I have no edge in telling you what to do, and I bring that up because I'm getting inquiries from people that I don't even know. Should I buy SpaceX? Because it's quite the noisy thing, but I want to repeat, 18 billion in revenues, 18 billion in revenues, with a market cap of 2 point whatever trillion. And yesterday had a bigger market cap than Amazon that has like 780 billion of revenues. Just letting you know. We're not telling you to buy, sell, short, or cover. Just letting you know, we have no edge on it. We don't know what it's going to do for the next 5 minutes. But the market's closed right now. Hey, up next. This, that, and the other thing. This is the one only Investor's Edge. Welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Thanks for being with us today. By the way, you can go to this website, Mediaite, and you'll see a lot of Trump backers and what they had to say about this. And let's move on. I want to repeat something. I don't know the reasons why. I just know some of these mega caps are acting really bad. I just want to let you know. really bad. And I want you to remember something else about how things work. You don't hear any pundits talking about Netflix anymore. You don't hear them hardly talking about Meta unless it's bad. They hardly mention those big software names. Why? They've been going down. That's how it works. The noise changes. The amount of noise changes on price movement. Do you see a lot of people talking crypto now if you watch financial television, including the shows I'm on? Much less. Do you know why? Because crypto's in a pretty damn good bear market. And they don't even talk Ethereum anymore. That was the big one. I was told a while ago, Ethereum's going to be the big blockchain, and I didn't understand the word they were saying. The big blockchain, this and that, and this and that, and this and that. Okay. Anyway, the Ethereum ETF, ETHE, has gone from 40 to 14 since last August. Of course they're not going to talk about it. And interesting enough, I didn't realize this, is trading where it did in 19. 7 years of no gains. Oh, by the way, and way off the highs. That's how it works. Simple as that. And didn't have a great day. And I did a little 15-minute thingamabob on MicroStrategy yesterday, which, as I always say to you, you're welcome. It's gone from 457 to 116 at the close today. In the last, not even year. Sometimes in the market, 1 plus 1 really does equal 2. I read to you what somebody wrote months ago. Somebody wrote, it was very concise. I forgot who it was. What type of a strategy, I think it's right around when they changed the name. What type of a strategy is leveraging and buying up an asset that has no sales, earnings, products, or services? And saying, and having the CEO go on TV and said, if it goes down to $1, we're fine. And he did say that. So I hope you've been listening. It's simply bear market in crypto still. And I've looked at some of the names that are not talked about. Because as we've told you, there was like 32,000 of these coins that were put out there. And by the way, there's still a decent amount of them trading. A lot lower than where they were. But there's something wrong when something called Doge, D-O-G-E, the Doge coin, comes out as a lark, and they rally it up. Anyway, that went as high as, about 42 cents? It's 8 cents. It's 8 cents. I was asked by some people, do you think this is going to be a big, gigantic blow up? And meaning, I think somebody asked, do you think it's going to go like to nothing? I said I did not know. Just that they have no sales, no earnings, no product, no services. So just letting you know. On the crypto. To be repetitive, very rough close today. Often, better day the next day. The money was flowing flowing today into semis, artificial intelligence, and the like. Pulled back harshly at the end. Still up, though. Still up, with some up pretty decently. What stuck out was short-term rates inching higher. I'll have a synopsis of the new Fed head. I'm going to watch him. I think I've seen him before. He was impressive. Couple other things in the market. I think the truckers may have topped. They had been doing pretty darn well for truckers. We've been telling you to avoid the oils. Let's stay that way. And a lot of consumer, I noticed the auto dealers getting smoked today. Auto parts retail smoked today. Notice that. Medicals, you know where we stand there. And just a icky finish by the close of the day. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. And I do think we may get some sort of a bounce. Who the hell knows? Anything else that we expect out of the Middle East / president? I don't know. I think he's flying back. Oh, and by the way, it's just a memorandum of understanding. Have a great evening. Drive carefully when you get home. Do like we do, quite simple. Make sure you hug your family, hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better, I promise. Stay well, be well. Until tomorrow, have a good night.